In this video, I'll be talking about the use of the iOS MapKit library in a coronavirus tracker application. So in addition to talking about how MapKit works, I will walk you through how I went about learning what the library actually does. For context, I'll first show you the use of the MapKit in the application. So this application displays a map of the world that allows you to scroll around as well as search different locations and move to that location, and you'll see the map updates to that location. So on the different points in the map, there are these annotations that display information about coronavirus cases. You can click on the country of interest and see different information. So to start to figure out how exactly this map kit was working, I looked at the code to see where the map kit was being used, and that's this map controller class. And at first glance, I could tell that in an application as complicated as this, there was a lot going on in this application. So after briefly looking through this, kind of skimming for what I could find as important, I decided to start with the documentation of MapKit. And so here in the MapKit documentation, you can see that the map view is the actual embeddable map interface. I had seen the coordinate region and coordinate span used to define a region in the map. And another important thing that I found in the documentation was the use of annotations. And as we saw, there were a lot of annotations in that application. But before actually digging into that code, I decided to see if I could find a simpler example of how all of this was being put together before looking at the actual code in the coronavirus tracker. So I found this simple tutorial that gave a baseline for how the MapKit can work. So in this tutorial, they start by um, adding a map view to the storyboard, and after importing the MapKit and connecting the map view to the code, the first thing they'll do is set an initial location. And so this location is just a latitude and longitude. And next they build a coordinate region around that location. So they have the center location and then a distance in longitudinal meters and longitudinal meters that defines the region around this point. And so in order to center on that point, they just call this function map view center to location, and it displays the region centered around that point. One other thing that this tutorial did include was just a brief look at annotation. So in this case, they want to add artwork on the map. So they have this artwork class, and all they have to do is add this annotation to the map view with this class that they created, and they simply have to give it a coordinate location, and that annotation will appear on the map. And obviously there's ways to customize this, which was important for the application. But I'm going to go into a little bit about configuring the annotation here. But now I think I had a good enough understanding to dive into the code a little bit more in the map controller class for the coronavirus app. Some of the features in this map controller class. So you can see that the MK map view is one of the member variables. Another important variable here is this all annotations list of region annotations. That's a class created to hold the information about the coronavirus data. And so we'll look at that region annotation view a little bit later. One function I want to point out is this show region on map function. So this will take in a region, and it'll basically create this coordinate region out of the center location and the distances for the edges, and will create that new region and call this function of the MK map kit map view class set region, and so that will change the region on the screen to the selected region. So quickly point out a couple features of the map view delegate, which is an extension of the map controller. So since the map controller is constantly fetching data asynchronously, This can be useful for a variety of things, like one, to notify when a region did change. So you can see here this function, if the region changed, it adds any annotations that are within the given region, and it removes annotations that are not in that given region. Another thing it does is it actually returns the annotation view for any of the annotations that are on the screen. So that's the last class I'll show you here. And this annotation view is what's used to actually display those circles on the actual map.